Cheetah, cheetah, cheetah. Hoeka chaka cheetah, cheetah, cheetah. Alle mannen cheetah, cheetah, cheetah. Alla som vi kollar sig cheetah, oh. Alla som vi kollar sig cheetah, oh. Freestyle! Wow!
Hello, Cheetah fans, and welcome to yet another roaring episode of Cheetah Chase. In this month's show, we celebrate the sponsorship renewal for another 3 years with Toyota in Johannesburg. The City of Roses plays host to the inaugural Stones Cup for deaf rugby teams in the country. Mediclinic Bloemfontein and ER24 becomes our official medical partners on and off the field. And we pay a visit to friends of the franchise to muster support for our final 2 home games of the season.
Toyota Cheetah fans, we're very fortunate today to spend time in Sandton, Johannesburg at Toyota South Africa's head office, launching a new sponsorship, a 3-year agreement between Toyota South Africa and the Toyota Cheetahs. We're very privileged to have a partner and a friend in Toyota South Africa. Let's go and have a look at what happens during this sponsorship launch.
Thank you, Kobus. Yes, the Albert Wessels Auditorium in the City of Gold was the venue for this joyous announcement as the Toyota Cheetahs welcomed media partners, sponsors and friends to celebrate the occasion. We caught up with Kelvin Hamann as he explained where this relationship started 8 years ago.
In 2011, the Cheetahs didn't have a sponsor, and it actually became so close that they couldn't start the Super Rugby or the Currie Cup Championships without a sponsor. So we had very short notice, scraped the money together to sponsor them, drove to Bloemfontein, and that night we handed over the sponsorship and came back the same night. But that was in 2011. But we form long-term relationships. So for us, the Cheetahs is important. They're good for our brand. The association is good. And therefore, we're still with the Cheetahs. We like it when they win. They don't always win. But I wish them the best for this year.
It's obviously unbelievable to have the sponsor back on board, or they never actually left, but just, you know, that to join us again and in the next few years, it's very important. It's the backbone of Free State Rugby's main income, and we're proud to be associated with it, also from the players and management side. You know, it's really nice to be seen in our Toyotas and around town, and yeah, just a wonderful gesture for them to continue with us.
Yes, we're very excited and very happy and all very fortunate to have a brand like Toyota as our title sponsor. This is wonderful news for Free State and for the Cheetahs. Well, financially, it's a big boost, you know, it's a huge portion of our turnover. So it's important to get these kind of sponsorships in to keep our players. And that will assist us to keep our players not leaving us like in the past in great numbers. From now on, it will be a better position in the Toyota Cheetah camp to keep our players.
There are guys that are starting to sign contract extensions, and getting this financial boost will perhaps allow them to retain some of their top players, which hasn't been the case. Actually been a very big problem of Free State and Cheetahs rugby. They lose players because they just cannot compete at the bigger unions. This will allow them to, I know that there are players that are getting national contracts as well. There's at least 5 of them, so that's also going to help tremendously and supplement what they're getting. So, as mentioned, very important and good news for the rugby in the region.
Absolutely. I think, you know, sponsorships play a very important role in sport. You know, without the sponsorships, then players can't get paid. We can't eat. So we really appreciate the fact that Toyota has decided to invest in us once again. And you know, like they said, they have expectations, which, you know, to be fair, they should, and we are willing to live up to their expectations.
Doing what you love and making a living out of it is really a privilege, and I mean, with the continued support of Toyota, they're enabling us to do that. I hope we can contribute as much back to them as they give to us, and I hope we can unite not only the Toyota driving people out there, but the whole of South Africa behind our team, and just create hope.
You know, it makes a massive difference. You know, wearing the Toyota badge on the front of your jersey, you know, creates so much confidence for the player. You know, the players want to go out onto the field and play rugby. And to make that happen, you know, you need the backup staff and the backup systems to be in place. And Toyota gives us that opportunity to put those systems in place and get a professional team on the field that can perform.
We started over with a new group of players, young guys that came to the Cheetahs with the idea to grow and to get better at what they're doing. And I believe now to have a big company like Toyota investing in that and making sure that if you look over your shoulder, there's somebody that's backing you to become a great. It must give them a lot of confidence.
You know, I think it's got a big psychological impact on players to know, look, this fantastic brand is right behind us and they stand next to us. I think it's fantastic. I think it makes a player feel very proud, you know, to wear the Toyota Cheetah jersey.
Well, I can tell you my personal moment that stood out the most was when they won the Currie Cup in 2016. And I was with them down in the cloakroom, and we all sat around the cup, and we all had champagne from the cup. And it was a fantastic feeling and a fantastic moment. Even just to hold the Currie Cup was fantastic. So for me, that was a high point. In South Africa, we need companies and sponsors to unite South Africa as a peaceful country of people that live together, work together, and build a country to become a country of unity. And we think we can play a role through sport. And there's no better medium at this stage for us than rugby. And that's why we're doing it. We want to unite people. We want people to live in harmony, in peace, and people to work together. Rugby does that for us.
Various venues across the City of Roses hosted the inaugural Stones Cup, a rugby competition for deaf clubs and provinces across South Africa. Springbok Mark Barnard was part of this landmark event as he explained what this tournament was all about.
Well, we are participating in the first ever deaf rugby interprovincial tournament. It's called the Stones Cup after our very first president of the South African Deaf Rugby Union. The primary difference between deaf rugby and normal rugby is, of course, communication. We've got our disability is one that does hinder communication to a large degree. So out on the field, well, the first difference is when you're looking within your own team, attack doesn't happen as naturally as it would for hearing. You can't just make a call and say, hey, I'm going to make a switch now. Well, God's not going to hear you. He's never going to make that pass behind the back. So you've got to pre-plan your moves a little bit more. Then, of course, look at refereeing. For the ref, you carry on as you normally would. We can read body language, we can pick up on what's going on. The human body's got about 20 sensors, and one of them is able to pick up what's going on in the air around you. So when you look out there and you see somebody stops playing, well, it carries on. It's like a cascade of dominoes. Then, of course, the one where you can't see is the scrum. So for the front row, crouch, bind, set. Simple as that.
What a great day, and it's a privilege for the Free State Cheetahs to welcome the deaf Louisville rugby team and also the SA Invitational team who's supported by the SA Rugby legends. And it's a great privilege for us to welcome them here in Bloemfontein. But what an experience, what a privilege just to see the boys out there and playing. And it's just enjoying themselves, and it's great to see that with the lack of ability to hear, it's not keeping them back, and they're still enjoying a good game of rugby.
I think it's been a fantastic week. Deaf rugby is very important to South African rugby. And this is the first time ever that we've had the competition over a week. And hopefully this will not be the last. I already hear that they are planning to have the tournament in Cape Town next year. What I picked up throughout the week is that these gentlemen playing their rugby here as deaf people, the gratefulness and the thankfulness and the appreciation for what is being done for them is something that I will take along with me for a very, very long time. It made a tremendous impression on me. So yes, all in all, a fantastic week, enjoyed by all. For me, it was a very special experience, and we're grateful and thankful to the Free State Rugby Union and the Cheetahs for allowing us to have the main game on their field here today.
A massive, massive thank you to Bloemfontein for hosting us out here today. It's been an unbelievable journey to be able to get to this point and play in front of this crowd. You've been incredible hosts, and especially, of course, to the Free State Cheetahs, to our sponsors, South African Rugby Legends, Citybug for making sure that the Bulls were able to get here, Intercape, there are just so many to mention. And I think one of the greatest lessons that come out of all of this is just how many people it takes to bring together a rugby squad, put them on the pitch, and let us have a game chasing the odd-shaped ball. Thank you all very, very much. What a blessing.
In 2018, the Toyota Stadium was treated to a visit from Sir Gareth Edwards, and this year, another former British and Irish Lion legend was in attendance in the form of rugby royalty Gerald Davies.
What a privilege it is to be here in Bloemfontein and to be here at the game. I should have been here some time ago, I think. The Pro 14 has been moved on a lot, I think, with the presence of South Africa. It was the Pro 12. It was entirely European competition. but we believed that it was an international competition and that if there was an opportunity to expand, then we would. And it seemed inevitable to me and very practical that it should be the South African teams that should join the Pro 12 to make it the Pro 14. It's a very exciting time for the competition. I think the teams need to be stronger, but we're always very well represented in the European competition. We are very well represented this year. And last year, it was a Pro 14 team which won the major competition in Europe, and also a Pro 14 team that won the Challenge. Leinster, first of all, and then, of course, Cardiff did it. And I think we need to develop from there. Well, we love to be part of South Africa, and it's wonderful to be out here in South Africa. And let's work to make it a huge success with the presence of the South African teams.
Injuries are a common occurrence when it comes to the rigors of rugby. Therefore, the Toyota Cheetahs joined hands with ER24 and Mediclinic Bloemfontein as they will be our official medical partners on and off the field.
Some of the buzzwords in rugby these days is head injury assessments and player welfare, etc., etc. Therefore, no rugby entity can exist without a medical partner. Tonight, we as the Toyota Cheetahs are fortunate to welcome Mediclinic and ER24 into the Cheetah family. These entities don't only supply us medical services on the pitch for the players, but also medical services for our crowds attending our games. Very important, you're safe when you visit Toyota Stadium, and the Cheetahs players are always in good hands when they're playing out on the field.
I think we, as excited as you guys are, as I said, for many years, I think we wanted to do this. We're so close to the Cheetahs, so that we're really optimistic and very positive about this relationship. And as I also said in the past, I would like to see this as a long-term relationship. As I said, we've been doing this at Grey College for 10 and 20 years, and hopefully this can be the same kind of partnership.
For us, it is, like I said previously, it is like being part of a family. The spectators is fanatic spectators, and that is what it's important for us, is keep it local, keep it to the people. And the Cheetah family is important for us locally, because the spectators here is here, and we want to be part of the Cheetah family, and it makes it exciting for us to be part of it. We do what we call the field side medics first. That is people that looks after the players, and when a player will get hurt and we get called up, they will go on, look after the player, bring him to the medical center. If need to be transported, they do that as well. The second part obviously is where we look after the spectators for their well-being. There we can get anything from a bee sting to a child that falls. We're there for them in that medical center as well, and we've got about 22 medics on a match day looking after the spectators as well. That is throughout the stadium, placed throughout the stadium.
I myself, and I know I'm talking on behalf of ER24 and Mediclinic here, are extremely excited to get involved and to finally be involved with the Toyota Cheetahs. We can't wait to show these guys that they never need to worry. They can go in, play their hard rugby, and we'll take care of the injuries afterwards. We are ready, we are geared to look after anything from our minor toe sprains to the serious injuries. We'll make sure to take care of them every step of the way. With Mediclinic Bloemfontein involved, the definitive care and the backup resources is in place. So we're looking forward to an exciting season of rugby with you guys.
As the 2019 edition of the Guinness Pro 14 draws to a close, we caught up with local rugby journalist Owen Koch and Morgan Pick to hear their thoughts on the season thus far and what the future holds for the franchise.
They haven't been as good as they should have been. They haven't met everyone's expectations, and the team does feel the pressure, and we've just got to accept it for what it is. And it's not the first team in this competition that hasn't done well. We've had teams like Connacht that were nearly chucked out of Irish rugby a couple of years ago. 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, they actually won the Pro 12. So there's always room for improvement, and I'm sure that once the team starts finding its straps, they will start improving gradually, and hopefully next season, with a bit of pressure from the sponsors, they will be able to reach those playoffs again.
Definitely. Next season, I think we're in for a surprise. At the beginning of the season, we went back to a building phase, but we've come a long way since that first drubbing by Munster and then the Ospreys afterwards. So the experience gained, especially by the guys who played there last season, would have rubbed off on the younger boys that came into the fold this season.
A couple of guys have renewed their contracts. There are talks of guys that are being released due to the new contracting system by SA Rugby, where they're limiting the amount of contracted players at franchises. So that could have a toll, especially when it comes to big names and guys of experience. So definitely a lot of experience gained in this past season. Where at the end of the season, there are 20 more guys that have had 10 Pro 14 games than what they were at the beginning of the season. So that all does count for something. And beginning of the year, we also started speaking about experience can't be used as an excuse anymore, because the guys have started playing it. They have been to Europe. They've been to all the countries in Europe. So it will definitely help heading into a new season.
There's a few players, but it will have to be Rabs Mashpane. Rabs is on the verge of equalizing the record of Tim Visser of Edinburgh. He set in the 2010-2011 season of 14 tries. He's on 13 now. Tim also holds the record for 13. And then, of course, the back line, you have a guy like Malcolm Yar, who's injury-prone, but he's also been a steady performer, and obviously he's done the most meters in the competition without having played something like 3 matches and sitting on the bench with a yellow card. So there's quite a few guys, but those two stand out for me.
Oxenshire has been as great as always. Just a pity that he got suspended, and the same with Nicoli. And another guy that's really impressed me, and it's a guy that came on not even a pre-contract. He came here to try and get a contract. He almost immediately earned himself one. He's Abungile Nonkontwana. I'm an absolute workhorse, and he's going to make life for a guy like Opa Moji very difficult when it comes Currie Cup time. But Opa, although he's the club captain for the season, I don't think it's going to be, I'm walking back into the team. He's going to have to, outplay Nonkontwana and Junior Pokolmela for that matter, another player that's really impressed me this season.
In terms of the Currie Cup, we should be able to do very good. We have a few players coming back from injuries, and we have what it takes. I mean, we've won the Currie Cup in 2016, and we've lost a lot of players. But the guys who came into the fold are equally good, if not better. So, my take on the Currie Cup, watch the Free State. They should be able to do something, not like last year when we couldn't win a single match. Remember, we even had to play out to retain our Currie Cup status. That's from the past. That's in the past. We need to put in a solid performance in this year's Currie Cup.
Well, I'd like to be optimistic and say yes, any team stands a chance, and I do believe the Cheetahs have a chance. What they've got going for them is a lot of continuity. 22 odd games that the team has played together as a unit, because there's been very few changes week in, week out when it comes to team selection. So that will definitely help. We look at a couple of the bigger unions. They are going to be losing players. It has become a tradition in SA Rugby where Springboks aren't available to play in the Currie Cup. And with it being a World Cup year, there's probably going to be even that more focus and importance on that. So when it comes to the finals of the Currie Cup, I don't think we're going to see it like in the past where Springboks get released to play in the semi-finals and the finals. So I think Cheetahs or Free State are in for a very good shot, but it's all about how well do they start the competition.
Prior to the round 20 clash against the Dragons, the men in orange took to the streets of Bloemfontein as they visited various friends and sponsors of the Toyota Cheetahs to thank them for their faithful support throughout the season.
First of all, we just wanted to come out to all the companies in Bloemfontein and to thank them for their loyal support. It means a lot to us, supporting our families and supporting Cheetahs.
Ons inisiatief van Vryheid Rugby om net dankie te sê vir al die borgers vir hulle ondersteuning deur die jaar, en ons gaan maar om by al die mense in die dorp en wil maar net dankie sê en uitnooi om nog verder die laaste 2 wedstryde van die Pro Rugby te kom ondersteun en dan die Currie Cup wat voor lê wat nog ons baie belangrik is ook voluit te kom ondersteun.
It's awesome to be back in front of our home crowd, and looking forward to the next couple of games, especially to the Currie Cup as well, to show them how much we improved as a team. I think we have a different brand of rugby that we play, so it's going to be a challenge for other South African teams to play against us, and for us, we're looking forward to play against them as well, just to show how much we improved as a team.
President Brun Primary School was the venue for the next stop as Henku, Buan, Marnus and Reinach visited the coaches, teachers and youngsters of this rugby-loving institute.
Hello, we just arrived here at PBS in Bloemfontein, and it looks like recess has just ended. We just greeted some of the teachers and let them know that we're playing on the weekend. Maybe they'll come support us. So yeah, we're back on our way again. Hey. Ja, ek moet speel Saterdag. Hier gaan my been breek. I was toppie. I was a toppie.
Next up was a stopover at Koffsies, as the players were joined by the Miss Free State finalists, all proudly donning their Cheetah supporters' shirts as they handed out tickets to the weekend's game.
The Miss Free State competition is a competition that is launched to really empower young women, and I'm very excited. We have a very strong group this year. It's very empowering. You develop yourself so much, and it's a great platform that Anri and Yolandi has given us. Very excited about this. The competition is very tough, so we need everyone's support for this. And then we are also supporting the Free State Cheetahs. Everyone should join us tomorrow at their game. It's going to be one to remember.
Well, Miss Free State is just such a great foundation for young, strong, independent women to just get themselves out there and just, you know, have a foundation to help the community and to help people and just be an example to people. So it's a really good foundation for us to be doing this. So
most of us are students, some of the girls are working and so on, but ultimately I think, you know, as she said, it's a great platform to, you know, be building for yourself. So I think most of us are really just busy building a platform for ourselves, building a platform to make a difference and to get out there and really step in the world as independent women, making a difference and showing young girls what it is to be strong, and not just to be strong, but to actually just be yourself and then find strength in that. So that's super exciting. And also we support rugby in our free time.
I always used to go watch the Cheetah games growing up with my dad, and it was always very special to me. And I have moved away since I moved to Stellenbosch, and I was supposed to become a Stormer, but I'll always be a Cheetah at heart.
The penultimate game of the 2019 Guinness Pro 14 Championship saw the Toyota Cheetahs welcoming the Newport Dragons from Wales to Bloemfontein, as both teams look to impress before the season comes to a close.
There's a great kick that as well from Skuman. He's got his team in such a good position. Yannicka, and surely it's a try.
Puts his head down, finds a blade of grass, and the trout drought in this first half for both sides is broken.
Rodri Williams.
Advantage.
Now Tane Basham. Well, he's lost it, but they'll come back for the penalty. Well, if he's going to kick to touch, no, he's not going to kick to touch. They're going to go for the line. Oh, just so close. Can somebody get it over? Yep, I think they've done just that.
Don't change your mind.
We spoke about patience as well in that first half, Lemon.
Don't change your mind too. Good.
I'm probably quite frustrated. They've been this close to the line so many times without scoring any points. Now Fenta. Oh, lovely play that from the scrub half. Oh, brilliant play that from Sean Fenta. He had a lot of work to do, but that little dummy of his might have done the trick.
Oh yes, Gavin, he had so much work to do. The show and go, created out in the defensive line of the Dragons, bought him some time. What he does well though is he stays on his feet. Fantastic score for the Cheetahs, considering they do have a man in the sin bin.
It's one man after the next, trying to find his way through. Now it comes out, and Jan Skuman has got the try. Good play from the fly half. Every man wanting to get his hands on the ball now. Rudy Page on the field too. It's a lovely little pass. He has a real chance now. Can they finish it off? Wow, they can. That's the try of the game as Louis Fashion is who gets in. Turned over. A chance here. Oh, the chance goes to Matswani. And wow, Matswani with try number 5. And importantly, he equals the current record that is held for 14 tries in one season by Tim Visser, a Dutchman who played for Scotland. So well done, youngster. That's a fantastic effort.
End of the game. Congratulations from both sides. Cheetahs win this one. 38 points, 13.
That's all for this month. For more information on all things Cheetah, log on to our brand new website at www.fscheetah.co.za, or you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for all the latest happenings, photos and uploads. So until next month, keep supporting and, as always, freestyle!
They call me Cheetah, Cheetah, Cheetah. Ooka chaka Cheetah, Cheetah, Cheetah. Alla manna Cheetah, Cheetah, Cheetah.